Yo, what is going on, guys? So welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are here for the UPBA Season 1 Draft Analysis. This is a brand new Wi-Fi league that I am a part of, run by Gray. And yeah, it is a points draft league, which is also something I do not believe I've done on this channel yet. So that's also pretty exciting. And there's also some S tiers. Or, no, there's no S tier in here, but there are some ones that would normally be placed in an S tier that have been allowed. So Tapu Lele, the Mega Lattes, and Aegislash are all allowed this season, which all four of those are huge threats in the format, and I would love to be able to get any of those. However, I did get the 12th pick in the draft, which definitely means I'm not going to be able to get any of those. There's no way any of those would fall to round 12, or pick 12, sorry. And unsurprisingly, yeah, none of those fell to pick 12. So I could not get those. However, there was a mon on the board that I definitely wouldn't have expected to still be around, and that was Steeler, which I'm really excited to use. Steeler is a really good mon. The Steel Flying typing is really good. Stats-wise, it's also got really good stats. Everything being above 100 except HP and Speed. HP is only 3 points below 100, so it's base 97. Speed is base 61, but speed on Steeler isn't that important, and if I do need to speed up, it does get Autonomize and Flame Charge as well, so that doesn't really matter. It has access to Beast Boost, which is really good on Steeler because it can boost any stat except speed, so attack, defense, special attack, or SPDF could be boosted. And it also has a ton of different options, whether you want to go with a bulky kind of semi-stool set with like Leech Seed Protect. You know, you could even run like Toxic or Giga Drain or stuff like that. Rest if you really want to. Or offensive with a lot of coverage and, you know, Autonomize to set up speed. And then it also does get, of course, Beast Boost to set up attack. I believe there's another way to... No, there isn't actually. But you could always run like Weakness Policy, since this mon can take... It normally can take a special... a super effective move pretty well. Or at least just take it in general. You know, there isn't too much that could OHKO it, super effective wise, so that's nice at least. So if you do want to run, so if I do run Weakness Policy, that could be pretty great as a late game sweeper against someone. And it does have a good chunk of options on both the physical and special side. So this mon's just really good in that respect. You know, it can pretty much hit like every mon neutrally with physical or special overall. So that's also very nice, and it just forces a ton of prep, which I think is also very important with, you know, early picks, especially in draft, because you cannot go into a game against Steeler and not have a lot of prep for it, because Steeler is just so threatening. So even though I don't bring it, you know, there's definitely going to have been some prep on my opponent's team for it, and if I do bring it, even with that prep, I feel like Steeler has a really good chance to just put in a ton of work. So yeah, I'm really excited to use that this season. Now, moving on, I wanted to pair an offensive Mega with my Steeler. So, I honestly, if Steeler had gone, I probably would have gone with Mega Venusaur and a bit more of a bulky team, kind of like I have in PCLD League. But, you know, Steeler was still around, so I decided I wanted an offensive Mega. And Mega Medi was still on the board. So, Medicham, Mega Medi's pretty great. I mean, base 100 speed and base 100 attack are pretty nice. Every other stat's a bit lower, you know, base 60 HP, 85 on both of the defenses, and 80 special attack. But to be fair, I wouldn't say the defenses on Medi matter that much, as, you know, you're not going to use this as like a bulky mon at all. Medi is here to break walls. I mean, it also has pure power as its ability, so pretty much has base 200 attack. Actually, no, that is not how it works. What am I saying? It just doubles your attack, so I guess, yeah, it would be... Yeah, no, I don't know what... I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, but... yeah, I'm really excited to use Medi, as, you know, this mon is going to be a really good wall breaker for my team. Medi has multiple priority options, which is also very nice. It has Fake Out and Bullet Punch. I don't believe it has any more options. It might have Quick Attack, I don't know. I'm assuming it doesn't, but, you know, it also gets some alright coverage. Definitely not the best coverage, but it doesn't need that much more than it has. I mean, it does have, I believe, all three of the main elemental punches in Fire, Ice, and Thunder Punch. Yeah, it does have Thunder Punch. So it does have access to all of those, which is very nice. Her jump kick and Zen pretty much break everything. Like, it's very rare to find a mon that resists both of those. I'm actually not sure if there is. Oh, actually, there definitely is. You know, Spiritomb, Mega Sable. I definitely can switch into Medi, but like, other than that, there isn't that many mons that can just reliably switch into Medicham, which I really like. And realistically, I feel like Fairies are mainly the mons that can, but it does have access to moves like Poison Jab, so that's also very nice. I mean, it does get dual screens. I don't think I'm ever going to run those on Medicham, but it gets them. Just an idea. Also, it does get bulk up, so setup Medi could be very fun to use 1 week and try and sweep with that. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on to my round 3 pick of Nihilego. Nihilego is amazing. I love Nihilego. I've recently did have it, or still do have it in PCLD League, and it is currently my kill leader over there. So hopefully it can do the same over here. It has pretty great stats across the board except for attack and defense. If this thing is hit by a physical move, it's probably going to go down. But base 127 special attack is very nice. Base 131 speed def and base 109 HP means it can actually take special hits fairly okay. And base 103 speed is also really nice, just because it can outspeed pretty much. I mean, it can outspeed all the base 100s, which there is quite a few good mons that are base 100 in this format, so that's very nice. It gets a pretty okay amount of options, you know. It can hit on the poison side with moves like Sludge Wave, Sludge Bomb, even Acid Spray or Clear Smog could be pretty good. Of course, it can hit on the rock side as well with Power Gem. Then it also gets access to moves like Dazzling Gleam, Psychic, Psyshock, T-Bolt, moves like that. You can also run hazards on this with Stealth Rocks and T-Spikes, and this is the first hazard mon I have on this team, so that's definitely nice to have. Other than that, it doesn't do all that much. Like, you're going to be using this mainly as an offensive threat or for hazards. Those are really the only two options I feel like Nihilego has, which, I mean, isn't great, but you know, it definitely isn't terrible either. So, moving on. How many points do I have left at this point, actually? I kind of forgot to go through points. So at this point, I only have 70 points left, which, considering we started with 120, you know, I've already used 50 points. Yeah, I've already used 50 points for 3 Pokemon, which is not good. But that does not mean I'm going to be slowing down on points yet. You'll see at one point of this draft I do, and maybe it was too late, but my next pick is my favorite bulky water, Milotic. I love Milotic. It's a really good bulky water in my opinion, and I personally do think it's a lot better than a lot of the others. You know, I think it's better than like Olo, Suicune. I can't even think of any other bulky waters for some reason right now, but I do think it's a really good bulky water. Very good on the special side, you know, base 125 speed def and base 95 HP are very good. Base 79 defense isn't great, but with Flame Warp Marvel Scale you can actually make it pretty okay, so that's at least pretty nice. Base 81 speed isn't terrible, and base 100 speed attack means that if you wanted to go with an offensive, like competitive boosting set, because you also do have competitive as an ability, and if you could switch this in on maybe a mon using like Parting Shot or just any move to drop stats, you could get that competitive boost and hit pretty hard. I mean, Milotic doesn't, it's not like it's a super weak mon. Coverage wise, this doesn't get the most options. I mean, you're mainly going to have Recover, Scold, like Toxic, Dragon's Tail, maybe even Ice Beam or Haze. That's kind of all it does. Like, you could run Physical with Coil. I've actually done that before. It wasn't a meme match, but I have done it before, so maybe I'll do that again at some point this season. It could be fun. Moving on to my Dragon type, we have Haxorus, best low point Dragon there is, in my opinion. I picked this up for 12 points, which pretty okay. I'm already down to 45 points with still 6 picks, I believe, after this. I mean, it could have been 5 picks, but I actually didn't know in that while we were drafting that we're allowed to draft 10 mons instead of 11, so I just assumed we had to pick 11 mons, and you want to see that's what I do. by the end of this draft. So Haxorus is really nice. It's a very good D-Dance sweeper. Even a Scarf sweeping Haxorus could be very nice to run at some point. It does get some nice options with like Aquatail, Brick Break, Earthquake, of course Declaw, and Outrage. Poison Jab's pretty cool. Rock Slide, Superpower, even X-Scissor, which pretty nice. You can go with D-Dance or even like Sub-Swords Dance could be a set that I could run. Other than that, it doesn't do that much. That's something you will see with this team. I have a lot of mons that do kind of one thing and are only one thing, which definitely makes my team somewhat easy to prep for against opponents, because of course they're going to know exactly what I'm going to bring set-wise with my mons, but you know, hopefully that isn't a huge issue for me going forward. So yeah, next I realized I have no hazard removal, no cleric, and just not that much bulk, so I decided to grab a third special wall, which, yeah, I probably should have grabbed a physically defensive wall at this point, but I do have Florges as my 6th pick at the draft. Florges is really, really solid, and it's also a fairy type, which I did need one of those at least, so this is the roundup to my Fairy Dragon Steel Core, which is very nice to have. Of course, Defog, Aromatherapy, Wish are the main kind of things this thing does. Of course, you could even go with like an offensive calm mindset. You could run screens on this, even though it actually only gets one screen now that I'm looking at it. It only gets light screen, apparently. I thought it got both. But it does not. You could run with Toxic, Giga Drain maybe. That could be nice to run on this. I feel like an offensive set could work one week, like Calm Mind, Moonblast, Giga Drain, and maybe just Wish or Synthesis, which is definitely something I like, that it gets. I do like it that it has 2 different recovery options, one of those being Synthesis, so that would work on the turn we're on, and then Wish, which would go off the turn after, and I can use that to heal either Florges or anything else on my team, so that's good. Another really nice special wall, of course, you know, base 154 for death is very nice. Base 78 HP is not great, but it can work. Base 68 defense is not good though. This is gonna die to most physical hits, or not die to them, but it's gonna take a good chunk from them. So that kind of sucks. Base 112 special attack, it definitely isn't bad, but with the coverage options this gets, it's definitely not. I mean, it's not that important to have a high special attack. I kind of wish that it had a bit lower sp attack and a bit more defense, but you know, that's just something I kind of wish it had, but of course it doesn't. So moving on to my next mon, I kind of realized at this point I'm running out of points, so I'm going to need to go lower points with the rest of my picks at this point. So my next pick was my second rocker in Mudsdale. Mudsdale's a pretty cool Pokemon, and it actually does give me a mon that can at least live physical hits with base 100 HP, base 100 defense, and base 125 attack is also really nice to have, as Banded Mudsdale could be very good for me this season if I do bring that at some point. And I mean, that's the main thing Mudsdale does. It also does have rocks, of course, which I already mentioned. Roar is a pretty good move to have. Of course, I can phase out any mons that are trying to set up on me, and I believe this may be the only mon on my team that could phase something out that has a sub up. Of course, Milotic can do it if the mon doesn't have a sub up, as it can just roar. But you know, this can do it even if they have a sub up. So yeah, that's pretty much Mudsdale. It doesn't really do much else. It doesn't have many options, but I mean, it's only 8 points, so it definitely wasn't bad. Moving on to a 3-point pick. This is the lowest point pick, and I mean, there really isn't that much point talking about this because I've already traded it away. So yeah, it's Slaking. As I'm recording this pretty late, I've already made trades after week 1, so I've actually dropped the next 3 mons that I'm talking about. So me talking about these isn't that important, but I'm still gonna do it. So let's talk about Slaking. Base 150 HP, base 160 attack, pretty great. This mon would be really good if it didn't have Truant, but it does have Truant, making it a terrible Pokemon, as it is easy to set up on, and easy to deal with. All you have to do is bring like protect on a mon, so you can just protect every turn that I'm attacking, and then do whatever you want to do while I'm truanting. It actually gets pretty okay options, you know. Offensive wise, it has a good chunk of options: Sucker Punch, Thunder Punch, Play Rough, Seismic Toss, Rock Slide, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Night Slash, Body Slam. You know, it has some options. Earthquake as well. Encore is a pretty cool move that I would have definitely used had I kept this mon around, as you could Encore a mon that's trying to do like the protect kind of stall thing against you. Actually, I don't even think you can Encore for protect, so I guess you couldn't even do that. So, yeah, this Slaking, it's a good mon if people don't prep enough for it, but, you know, that's not something I was willing to play off of. Moving on to Electros, which is another mon that I've dropped, so, again, not really much of a point talking about it, but, AV Eel would be the main thing I'd use. Coil Eel could have also been kind of fun to use at some point, but, you know, that's never going to happen now. Because I don't think I brought... No, I didn't bring any of these mons week 1. So, it gets some nice options on both physical and special sides. Also does have base 115 attack and base 105 special attack, which definitely isn't bad. Its stats overall aren't terrible, but, and its coverage really isn't either. It just kind of feels weak when using it. I don't know why, but, you know, it has multiple options to gain momentum with, like, U-turn and Volt Switch. Gets pretty good options in like Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Flamethrower, Giga Drain I believe it also gets, Flash Cannon. Pretty good special options. It also gets some nice physical options in Aqua Tail, Brick Break, Dragon Claw, Crunch, Drain Punch, Fire Punch, Rock Slide, Thunder Punch, and of course U-turn, which I've already mentioned, and even Return. And it can even set up with Coil. I believe it may have Hone Claws. Yeah, it does actually have Hone Claws as well. So that could also have been pretty fun to use. Using like a sub-coil, Electros could have definitely been really fun to use at some point, but, you know, that's never going to happen now. So, let's move on. Next up, we have Frostlass. Frostlass is a pretty fun mon. Spikes would have been very nice to use at some point. This is my only Spike setter on the team. And, I mean, it doesn't have great stats at all. I mean, base 110 speed made it my fastest mon, so that was definitely something that I had with this, but it doesn't really have much offensive pressure, you know, base 80 special attack and base 70, oh, base 80 attack as well, and then base 70 on HP in both defenses. Wasn't great. Halo Aurora Veil could have been kind of fun with Frostlass, but, yeah, that's never going to happen. Might happen with the mon I picked up, though, because one of the ones I did pick up was Alola Tails, but I'm not going to talk about that here because it's not on this team. So, yeah, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, both pretty fun to run. T-Bolt also could have been good. Switcheroo or Trick, you know, tricking an item with Frostlass, whether that be Scarf or Specs or even Choice Band. I guess I could run Bandage just to trick it away. Could have been an interesting set. Destiny Bond is right there to try and get rid of a huge threat off your opponent's team. And then there's also like Willow Hex or T-Wave Hex that also have been pretty great. So, yeah, moving on to my final one. That is Delphox. Delphox is a really, really fun one that I've really wanted to use again. I used it, I mean, I think the last time I used this one was like 2 years ago. So, yeah, I'm really excited to use this again. Base 114 special attack is really good. And base 104 speed is also pretty nice, as it would outspeed quite a lot of mons in the format. So, gets pretty nice coverage with moves like D-Gleam, Fire Blast, Giga Drain. No, it does not get Giga Drain, it gets Grass Knot. That's what I meant. Psychic, Shadow Ball, Psyshock. It does not get T-Bolt actually. I thought it did, but it does not. So that's about the coverage-wise. Also does get Heat Wave actually, and Hidden Power of course. Like every mon gets Light Screen, does not get Reflect like most of the mons on this team, and it's also a second Wish Passer. Although I don't think I'm ever going to use Wish Delphox, but I might. Set that I would kind of want to try. Maybe if I do like a meme battle like right at the end of the season, if I'm already like eliminated from playoffs or locked for them, I could bring Wish Delphox. Or maybe there's going to be a matchup that it actually looks good in. And we'll never know. Well, I guess we actually would know. by the end of the season. But yeah, Carmine's also really nice just to give myself that extra boost to my special attack, so I can help hopefully break walls for the rest of my team to just kind of put in the work against the opponent's team. So yeah, that is this draft analysis. Thank you for watching this video. My week 1 battle will be up in a week against Tone and his Buffalo Drills, I do believe. So yeah, I will see you guys then. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and